a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The entire mountain was hollowed out, just as Carter had described. The cavern floor was about 600 meters below us. Fires blazed everywhere, bathing the rock walls in blood-colored light. A giant crimson pyramid dominated the cave, and at its base, masses of demons milled about like a rock concert crowd waiting for the show to begin. High above them, eye level to us, two magic barges, manned by crews of demons, floated slowly, ceremoniously towards the pyramid. Suspended in a mesh of ropes between the boats was the only piece of the pyramid not yet installed, a golden capstone to top off the structure.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as a godly parent.
I'm Raye, following the path of Geb.
I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast. And oh my, how the tables have tabled today, Raye. I'm stealing the line that you told me right before we started recording.
Yeah, we were talking about this shocking twist.
It's a plot twist. Whoa! Whoa! You know, the funniest thing is, Seaweed Brain is also covering the Red Pyramid right now. And they took a break for a while to do, like, you know, some other, like, bonusy PGO show stuff. And then they came back, and I'm just like, you guys are still ahead of us. How the
shit.
fuck?
Oh, good.
So, like, they just covered this chapter, and I'm like, ha ha, oh, we're about to get there.
Amazing.
The plot twists. Oh my goodness. It's ridiculous. I feel like we didn't need to have that be such a long plot twist in this very long and lengthy book. I think that's my biggest criticism of the Red Pyramid so far, is that it's very long and we're really dragging out this whole, like, who is Set? Who could it possibly be?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't read the chapter, well, why are you here? Go read the chapter, because guess what? It's Amos. He's Set, or he was kind of. He's being possessed.
Right.
Yeah. He
He
not
didn't
Michelle.
seem very happy about it. Yeah. Were we not supposed to know?
That's the thing. I don't know.
And I'm trying to remember, like, as a kid, because I do feel like it was, like, maybe not that obvious as a child, but I was really bad at, like, narrative analysis when I was younger. Like, I get them now, like, plot twists and stuff. I can sort of predict stuff. That was not where my brain was at before.
Yeah, I feel like as a child I was waffling. I'm just like, is it Amos or is it Michelle? Who is it? Just like, just do it already. Like, but I definitely read this, like, this is probably a book that I read in, like, you know, faster than we're reading it right now. But
right, exactly. Like, if you're not, because I feel like the hints that it is Amos are, like, way stronger. There's more of them. There's more focus on that. You know, he's the uncle. Like, it seems so clear to me, like, in retrospect, like, as someone who, like, knew this was coming. Not the whole book, not until it started, like, getting brought up, but because I didn't remember, you know, when I didn't remember that he was a character, you know.
Who was the character?
Amos. Like, I didn't remember him, like, from my earlier read. Like, I only read 2 of these books, and
That's
I told you I did not have a good memory except for, like, certain set pieces. Like, some stuff, like, some stuff came back to me as, like, you know, as we were reading. So anyways, so yeah, I knew that this was coming, and, like, that made it seem really obvious, but I'm wondering, like, if you don't know, if it does, like, feel like a back and forth, especially if you are reading quickly, especially if you are a kid, like, there could be some intrigue there. There could be some other reason he knows storm magic. I don't know what it would be, but, like, hypothetically, that could have happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think it is funny that it's like this whole time they're like, okay, the villain, obviously it's a Jafar villain, right? It's like the guy who's like trying to gain up the ranks, and no, actually it is Scar. It's the uncle.
Oh my god.
That's what I was thinking about. Like, Amos is Scar, Michelle is Jafar. That's how this works. Yeah, but I mean, I still do appreciate the things that we did with like thinking, hey, maybe it is like Desjardins, like this guy who doesn't like our family, and then we made him more complex, and like I appreciate all of that. It's just like these several chapters we've gone with Amos recently.
Yes. So I don't think that these are supposed to be surprising. I don't think that it is meant to be a twist after these last few chapters. I think that it's supposed to be a building dread. As like
that's fair.
Like Carter and Sadie. Sadie knows, but she doesn't want to believe it. And like that's like why the feather of the truth, the truth feather of truth, whatever, reacted to her.
Yeah, that was last chapter, wasn't it? Where they got
last
cut
chapter
off
or two ago, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I guess that does make sense leaving off of, like, the last time, like, Zia being like, let's just get rid of him now. Let's do it right now. And then it's like, oop, we ran out of time. Sorry. So it's like, yeah, for that one, I can forgive. But I feel like it's been several chapters of that it's...
And I don't mind it because to me, like, that feeling is a big part of, like, the theme of the book. But, you know, I'm not, like, impatient for the reveal or whatever, you know. I just think that it's interesting.
I'm impatient for, you know, the amount of chapters we've done on the podcast, and I'm just like,
well, that is
finally
because we only do one chapter
I get to say it. Listen, I didn't want to have to combine chapter titles for episode titles.
I know.
So I was like, it's just easier to go chapter title, whatever, you know? I don't want to have to name episodes. We'll have to do that in Heroes. But right now, we're fine. Those fucking chapters have just Roman numerals and names.
For shame, Rick. For shame.
And it's a fucking cop-out. I think that's what loses the charm for me.
Damn. Call them out.
I will.
Okay.
I absolutely will.
So speaking of chapter title... technically accurate. And it gets points because it's sort of a pun, a little bit.
I didn't even realize it. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, how is Ray gonna read this one? Like, who's getting vaporized? And you got it. I'm just stupid.
Yes, our family is vaporized because everybody turned into water vapor.
Does that mean
they
Zia's
did that?
Part of their family?
Yes, she is. I was also thinking that, of like, aw.
Yay! Non-traditional family.
She's been accepted. But yeah, so once again, technically accurate, and it gets points because it's funny. It also gets points because it's intriguing, you know? If you were coming into this chapter, you're like, what? You get vaporized, and then, yeah. So that's fine. But it loses points because it happens at the beginning of the chapter and then is not relevant later.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
See, I like a chapter title that is either relevant throughout or that bookends the chapter, you know, something that's going to happen much later.
Yeah.
Because then you have your anticipation. But that's my only complaint. Okay.
They got water vaporized.
So, in this one, Amos turns everybody into storm clouds so that they can sneak up the mountain and get to the pyramid. Set is almost done building it. There's just the pyramidion left, which is the small pyramid that goes on top of the big pyramid. And they're bringing it with some ceremonial magic boats. They fly up to one of the boats and they take out the demons aboard, and then Amos turns the other boat into smoke because he can just do that now. And he says that he'll distract them and the kids should go on ahead. But then as soon as they get to the throne chamber, he is also there. And it turns out Amos was Set. We are all so shocked by this shocking revelation. That's it. That's it was an action chapter, and I always have less to say about those. But yes, I am. My wig is snatched.
Can't believe it. It's so much. I'm just like, I feel like I have nothing.
Right, I totally forgot about...
Okay. I have the tiniest snippet of something.
Okay.
Maybe.
What you got, bro? Take us there.
You want to talk about the symbolism of Egyptian pyramids for a second?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So in case you missed it,
But,
all right. I was just like, is there anything here that I could potentially talk about? And then I was like, wait, these are technically religious things.
They are?
Yeah? Yeah, they are. Guess what? I did not realize that the shape of them was, like, specifically, it says to represent the primordial mound, which is something that I have never heard of.
Interesting.
This is, like, a separate thing that exists. Okay. Oh, it's a creation myth of Heliopolis. Okay. So there's Beben, a mound that arose from primordial waters. Okay. So it's related to the pyramidion, I guess. And the obelisk.
Right. So the top of a pyramid is this little pyramid shape, and apparently one of those rose up from the sea, and then that was the beginning of the earth. That's fine. That's good.
Yeah, that it certainly did. Yeah, there's also, like, more stuff about this fucking stone, apparently. Oh my goodness. What is going on with this thing? It's also related to, like, Ra, apparently, because, you know, like, the pyramid's also kind of supposed to be, like, the sun's rays or something. And, you know...
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Okay, maybe the Bennu that we already talked about was living on the Ben stone as well? Very interesting.
That makes sense.
Okay, back to the pyramids. So I said it, like, the pyramid kind of represents the rays of the sun, and that's why, like, it's that specific shape, and they polish it with, like, very reflective white limestone. So it's like you want it to be, like, brilliant and bright like the sun, specifically.
That's cool.
If it's supposed to be the sun. So that's pretty cool.
Makes sense.
Okay. I love how it's like, it's generally agreed that pyramids are for burial, but there's a disagreement about that. That maybe somebody's like, what if they were meant for resurrection? Possibly.
Gasp.
I mean, I feel like that could be interesting if we're talking about the pyramid in the book, which is definitely not for that. So, the Egyptians also believe that, like, the night sky, where the stars appear to revolve, is the gateway to the heavens. Okay. So, that's why they have the, like, the narrow shafts in the pyramid. You know, like, those, like, you know about, like, the little cubby holes, like, that go through the pyramid? No?
Only sort of. Not really.
I mean, those are there. That's how, like, some people have, like, gotten into pyramids in past and everything. But, like, they apparently give light to the main burial chamber.
That's interesting. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. And so I guess that's supposed to maybe, like, help the deceased pharaoh, like, gain entry to the abode of the gods. Like, by, like, hey, I can see the night sky. I can just go right up there. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. So a lot of this is theory. So, and then we do already know about the whole West Bank of the Nile thing, because that's
come up.
Ayo. My last bit of things for you today is, did you know there actually is a red pyramid that does exist?
Yes, I have heard of this. Maybe from the book when I was a child. What's the deal though?
This is more history shit, but it's the largest of the pyramids at the Dasher necropolis in Cairo, and it's got a reddish rusty hue to it, so that's why it's the red pyramid, you know? And it's believed to be, like, the first successful attempt at, like, a true quote-unquote pyramid, like the smooth sides and everything. Like, it's...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, like, it specifically says true pyramid, like, all over this thing. That's funny. Yes, we know it probably wasn't always red. Shit happens over time, you know, guys. Did you not know that? It's in the fucking desert. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I remember something about, like, the guy who was buried there would hate that his pyramid is now known as the Red Pyramid because, you know, that would mean that it was associated with chaos and therefore, like, evil. And I don't remember if that came from the book or if that was something that I, like, looked up when I was reading it, but...
I'm trying to figure out whose fucking pyramid it is. It's also the third largest Egyptian pyramid. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh, it's built for, how do you say this guy's name? Sneferu?
That's the closest I would guess looking at that. Neferu.
Bro really got snubbed in the name department, I think. Oh, his name means he has perfected me. Never mind. Apparently he didn't. He got the perfect name. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Pyramids be cool. Pyramids are sun shit, apparently.
Yeah, love that. We love the sun in our Egyptian mythology.
Yeah, I'm still like thinking about, I know we've already talked about this and how like Set's really not using a pyramid for what it's meant to be used for.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
It's I don't like it. I don't think it should work with the magic system, personally.
See, I'm not offended by that. I'm much more forgiving of a wishy-washy ass magic system, I guess.
I don't know.
Because I see what you're saying. Like, it's supposed to be a shape of order, and it's weird that you can use it this way.
Yeah. For, like, the symbolic magic and everything, it doesn't make sense to me. So, I don't know, man. I feel like if you wanted to have this guy not be, you know, remembered and go to the afterlife, you wouldn't have built him a goddamn pyramid. And if it's supposed to be a pyramid for you, why is he buried there? I don't know, Set. I don't think your idea makes a lot of sense. But that's just me. Let's talk about this goddamn chapter. Let's get vaporized, bro.
Hell yeah.
Would you want us to turn into a storm cloud? Or does it sound terrifying to you?
It does sound terrifying, but I've always been into that shit. Like, elemental, like, storm magic specifically has always appealed to me.
Okay. So you're gonna be a chaos magician.
Well, a lot of the I'm gonna be
Path
like,
of Set, actually.
Yeah, no,
there we go.
Well,
there we go.
I would rather not, but I mean the benefits do seem pretty sweet.
You know,
come to the dark side. We have lightning bolts and water vapor.
You want to be friends with bennies with Set?
I guess it depends on the bennies. It doesn't. I don't want to destroy the planet.
Yeah, let's maybe not destroy the planet, but like, you know, storms are cool.
Exactly. You get it, bestie.
All right, we are still in Sadie's perspective, which I forgot until I got like halfway through the first page of this chapter. I was like, wait, she's talking about Americans versus English people? Oh, okay, that's Sadie. Never mind.
Yeah.
Even though it literally says like Carter did something, my brain did not comprehend that.
Yeah, I don't see there is a we, but there's not an I anywhere in those first few paragraphs. So like I can see how that would happen. Like you would forget that it was first person, and I don't know.
Yeah. It took me a little second. Listen, I didn't get the vaporized, I didn't get the Sadie chapter. I'm just off my game today, okay?
You're forgiven.
Thank you. It was, you know, really stressful for me. All right, we are at the eye of the storm also, which is funny because we're about to turn into storm. So just more storm clouding the eye,
storm.
actually.
Yeah. We're going to make the eye of the storm less safe for everyone.
Absolutely.
So we are at Camelback Mountain, which is a place, and Sadie is describing that thing where you hold your hand over a flashlight. Oh, sorry, torch for you British people. Sadie said the opposite thing. I always found that so confusing. Like, I read the Chronicles of Narnia as a kid, and they would talk about having torches, and I'm, like, imagining, like, a Dungeons and Dragons ass, like... No, they're just British.
You know, you're holding your flaming torches. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's some national treasure shit right there.
But so I know exactly the thing that she's talking about, where you put your hand over a flashlight and you can see like the red glowing through it.
Who hasn't fucking done that? It's so good.
It is.
All right, so we can't just drive up the mountain because we would immediately be seen, and Zia still doesn't have magic, so we can't. And her invisibility spell takes, you know, some components to work. So hey, look, we have some more stuff for our magic system. They use spell components for invisibility spells. Good
Just
to know.
like D&D, you're gonna have your somatic, your material, your What's the third thing? Vocal?
Is the hand waving? Is that that's
I can never
gesture?
remember
I don't know.
one of these words.
I don't know. We never use the material components for spells. We never worry about that shit. So
basically, you just assume that all of those materials are in your kit unless you don't have your kit with you for some reason, is how we've always done it. You know what I mean?
yeah, that makes sense to me. It's like, hey, they took away all of our weapons. Oops, I can't cast any spells either.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So Amos doesn't know an invisibility spell, apparently, but he sure does know how to turn everyone into storm clouds, which Zia hates. She's like, you can't do that to me, and then he just does it to her.
This is so creepy and invasive, and like it fits for the hey look, it was set the whole time chapter. But it's just like she doesn't even get a word like in to say I do not consent, and he's just like you're a storm cloud, and Carter's like no storm cloud
because it looks like she's just been vaporized. Yeah.
And Sadie's about to say no thank you, also storm cloud. Bro.
Yeah,
bro,
you can't transform people without their consent. Not cool.
This is, I mean, if this were a Carter chapter, then we would once again be like relating to like the lizard thing. It's like, like he got turned into something against his own will once again.
It's a violation of bodily autonomy,
and it fucking sucks. And I love how Sadie's like getting mad, so she gets lightning in her storm cloud.
Yeah, that's cute. And he says, don't be that way. And it's like, oh, you do sound like an asshole.
What happened to our cool jazz musician uncle? What happened to him? He got, possessed. That's what happened.
Sucks, man. Sucks.
It really sucks.
You know what else sucks? There's no good way to say ilf. Uncle, I'd like to fuck.
You're
it
correct.
Just doesn't work.
There isn't. Ilf. Yeah, I mean,
really
same
unfortunate.
Same with aunt. I'd like to fuck.
Ilf.
This is just a lot of I can't. Okay, well, there are storm clouds. The way they see and exist is like weird, and it's not great, and they have to focus just to keep themselves from like dissipating, which feels very chaos magic-y.
It does. I love this description. Like, I know that they're not animals, but like, once again, Animorphs vibes. Like, having to deal with being in a different state of being, yeah. And like, having, like, Sadie says that she gives herself a little spin, and that helps her, like, stay together a little bit. And, like, I don't know, I'm just so charmed. And, like, her state of, like, vision is different than normal, so she, like, can't quite tell where Carter and Zia are. Yeah, I just think that shit's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad they get turned to be humans, like, fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Sadie falls to the ground on top of Carter. Because she turns human a little too quick. And now we're like, oh shit, they just have to put the capstone, the pyramidion on, which they keep saying.
I love that word. I think it's so fun. Pyramidion.
I feel like it's okay to say capstone once in a while. But Zia's just like, excuse me.
Well, that's not what it's called. It has a name. It's a pyramidion.
I consider them interchangeable, but maybe that's just me.
Gasp. Now I have to look up the definition of capstone.
Okay, so they're like describing what this whole like cave and everything looks like. There's a bunch of demons. It looks like they're about to have a rock concert, but actually they're about to destroy the world. So
yeah. As you do.
It's not great. They're on some magic boats. And
so I kind of read this like quickly my first time through, and I was not visualizing this like at all like correctly. I had to like go back so that I could do my summary and be like, oh, okay, there's two boats carrying the pyramidion, which is like huge. And like I don't know how I like was not processing the first time through, but like this is a weird visual to me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not fully envisioning it. Maybe I feel like I've never fully envisioned this scene the way it's supposed to be.
I feel like I get it now.
Pyramid.
It's two flying boats. They have ropes attached to this big pyramidion, and so like they are both carrying it in like this solemn procession. And so if one of the boats is disturbed, then it will affect the other ones because of all these ropes connecting them.
Yeah. And it's just like, they haven't put the thing on yet because they're gloating. They're like...
They're making
like,
a big ceremony out of it because they know that they've won.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with that just yet, right? We gotta lure the kids in first. Haha.
So this is interesting to me when Sadie is like, well, let's blow up these boats or something, and Amos, like, negs her. He's like, is that your strategy, honestly? And she, like, gets really despondent for a second, and I'm like, that's very interesting, and I wonder if that's, you know, Set trying to demotivate her, or if that's, like, Amos trying to get her out of here. I don't know.
I feel like blowing up the boats would actually be a great idea because, like, what happens if the capstone just, like, falls and starts destroying the goddamn pyramid with the weight of it? I don't know. I don't know if that would happen. But, like, if it falls and they can't, like, immediately get it up there...
Well, I mean, they do that. It crushes a bunch of demons because it's not over there yet. But, yeah, it's
like,
certainly
also,
nice delay.
You could kill the demons by also blowing up the ships anyway, so it's like, you know, you're delaying some things so you can go get your dad. And this is what we need to focus on. It's like, we gotta go get dad, right?
Yes, that's how Carter snaps Sadie out of it, is like, we have to do something. Like, it doesn't matter that we're 12. That you're 12, Sadie.
And then Sadie's like, also, I guess maybe we'll save North America. Whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Dad's more important.
She doesn't live here.
She does now. She got deported.
Right, of course. So they're like, so we are gonna go disrupt these boats, or at least one of them. And Amos is like, how about we fly up there as storms? And they're like, no!
Please stop with the storm clouds. We just got out of that situation. Let's not. So instead, birdie time. It's morphin time, guys.
It sure is.
Anamorphin. Carter's gonna be a falcon. Sadie's gonna be a kite. And we're not gonna worry about Sadie getting stuck. She'll be fine. Zia has her power back.
A little bit.
But not enough power for that. So also that means that we have to worry about Michelle coming after them. Eventually. Oops.
Unfortunately.
I mean, hey, like, where they are at the end of this chapter could be a good thing.
Could help, potentially. Potentially.
It's like, hey, can you just, like, help us defeat him before you try to kill us?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Focus
Save
on
North
him
America first. Yeah, exactly.
Enemy of my enemy? Right? Huh?
Exactly.
Cool, thank you. So, she has just, like, a giant vulture, apparently.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Turning
this says that
a
she
pendant
used it
into
before.
a vulture is, like, super easy magic. Like, don't even worry about it.
This says she used it before, and I do not remember her using this before.
Me neither, but that's fine.
And then Amos, he turns into a fruit bat, which I wonder if that's irrelevant to anything. Possibly. I love how that just, like, traumatizes the children once again. Not the fucking fruit bats.
Yeah.
Alright, we get onto the boat, and we have sliced some demons. Zia is very conspicuous.
Yeah, on her giant-ass vulture. I like that some of the demons have, like, modern tools as heads. I'm assuming that, like, an axe-blade demon is, like, a classic one, and so Rick is, like, updating that with, like, a switchblade head guy. I think that that's fun and silly.
Yeah, why not? Why not? The fact that, like, all demons kind of just look like that is so interesting. But Face of Horror is also coming towards them. Carter recognizes him on sight.
I mean, how could you not with that face?
A face only his mother could love.
But now that Amos is here, he just says smoke and evaporates the other boat. So that's good and cool and not scary.
That's some pretty powerful magic to me. I mean, he's not using divine words, but that's still pretty powerful. Yeah, we cut the boat and things, and
yeah, we detach our boat from the other boat so that it will stay floating.
And then we leave Amos to distract the demons. This is like, we keep doing that with Amos, just like, you go distract things, we're gonna go run.
Which is normally something that a trustworthy secondary character does, is like sacrifice themselves to be picked up later or like have like a death fake out. And so, you know, you do get some mixed messages with this guy.
But it's also like, he is Set. so they're obviously not gonna kill him. So it's fine. Also, Amos is yelling for Brooklyn, which I love how Sadie's like, that's weird. But bro, his house got destroyed.
Yeah.
He likes his goddamn house. It was pretty cool.
And he sets his boat on fire. Once again, we've made this joke before, but Seahawk would be proud.
Seahawk! The spirit of Seahawk lives in this book, clearly.
Clearly.
Also, all of those wizards who cast Fireball, no matter how big the room is.
Yes, of course.
All right, we get inside the pyramid, and
Carter casts a spell to block up the entrance with the Eye of Horus, which is pretty cool of him. And then we are looking at the tomb drawings, and well, they're not tomb drawings, though. They're other sorts of murals about chaos and how cool it is and stuff.
Yeah, once again, it's like, it's so strange what he's doing. Like, this at least makes sense in how he's subverting the magic, but I'm also just like, so I'm still gonna be on my bullshit.
Okay, so the reason that it doesn't bother me, I think, is that as an evil being, he is perverting something that is typically used for, like, the power of good and, like, order and stuff. The idea that, like, a pyramid is a shape that gathers power and directs it towards the heavens and is, like, this perfect thing, this perfect shape of order, and that he can use that to gather chaos magic instead. I see your point, but I'm also, like, the idea that he is using it in a way that he's not supposed to feels like it follows with his character.
It's also weird to me, because it also feels like he's gonna use this as his, like, permanent throne room.
Yeah.
Which also feels weird to me, like...
Yeah, that's not normally something you would use a pyramid for either, no. But,
like,
it's also sort of his body, maybe, so, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird shit happening, but I do like the fact that he's like, no cool afterlife drawings, instead chaos shit of what I want to bring about. That makes sense to me, and that he's manifesting this chaos that he plans to bring about to the world.
Right. And I like that the images get, like, more realistic and more disturbing as they get closer to the center. I think that that's good.
Yeah, also there is something in a moat way down below. It's unclear what red liquid it is. I love how it's like blood, lava, evil ketchup.
Could be salsa. You never know.
Evil salsa! No way. That's so chunky though. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Once again, another strange room. This is like the throne room. But another detail that I do approve of is that, like, even though it's weird, he has a throne room and a pyramid, he does have his throne, like, built upon the sarcophagus of Osiris.
Right.
Which does make sense.
It does, because this is, like, supposed to be the burial chamber, and so it is a burial chamber, except for that he is disrespecting the fact that it's a burial chamber and making it into his throne room in, like, a perverse way. Yeah, it works for me.
It's some good shit.
There's a little bit of the coffin sticking out of the throne, and, like, you can use it as a footrest while you're sitting there.
Again, that makes so much sense to me as well.
It does.
But
it does.
The question is it the top of the coffin or the bottom?
I was assuming the bottom, but...
I'm just saying, I feel like it could be even more thematic if it was the top, and it's just like,
yeah.
My feet are in your face. Haha.
Inversion.
I love how Carter's and Sadie are just like, immediately, we gotta get him out. What are we gonna do? But actually, we have to worry about Amos right now instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he shows up in the most dramatic fashion possible. He,
just
like,
pops from the ceiling.
His cloak is, like, billowing like Batman. He did just turn into a fruit bat, so I'm imagining he has a Batman cloak, actually. It's important. But he should be dead. How did he survive all of those demons? Guys, it's because he's set. It's because he's set, obviously. And Amos is like, we're not gonna worry about Osiris or Julius or either of those us's right now. You know?
Time for us to talk, children.
Come talk with me. Amos convulses on the floor, and his eyes turn molten red. Like, run.
Fucked up. Love it.
Bestie, this is some good dramatic shit.
I want the TV show so bad.
And then, like, Set just kind of, like, steps out of Amos's body. Because he's like, he doesn't need it right now, right?
Yeah, so he comes out of his mouth as smoke.
It's so good. And Red Man, he's got his staff. He's got the head of the Set monster. And he's here. He's probably queer because he's queer-coded. And he's ready to slay.
He is a sassy little bitch. Oh dear, I suppose Zia gets to say I told you so. Like, he's just having fun with it.
This is why it needs to get, like, I think Disney has the rights now because Netflix dropped it. So Disney, this is your chance to get another queer-coded villain. This is your chance. I know you used to love those. Where have they been for a while? Come on.
If you're not gonna make the heroes cunty, we need the villains at least. Like, please.
If you're gonna stop making, like, the gays be your heroes, make them be your villains. I'm fine with it being for Set, because it's literally textual.
Yeah.
So, well, that was another chapter of this fucking book, my dude.
It's a good one.
How close are we to the end? Ooh, I spilled
When
some
I
things
look at
on
my
this
book, it looks very close.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise. But there are still 5 more chapters, looks like.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
It's so many.
Oh my god. Insane. It's not that I want to be done with this book, but, like, I want to move on. I want to keep going. It feels like we're stagnating.
Aw, no. I love it here with Carter and Sadie.
I love it here with them, but I'm just like, okay, I know how your adventure ends. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get to it. Come on. Where's our big final battle? I want you guys to punch Set in the face and then ride off into the sunset for the next one.
Got a plug?
Well,
because I don't yet.
You don't have a plug? Okay. So I'm getting back into watching YouTube. Is this bad? I don't know. I am gonna blame our lovely friend Haley, who is a mod in the DXM server. Not Haley, who has been on this podcast. Haley, who has tried to come on this podcast.
Aw.
And has not been able to, because she sent me a playlist to watch. After I'd consumed Epic, which has overtaken my life. That bit is probably going to be part of the outtakes because I said it very early in this recording. But yeah, I got a reaction YouTuber playlist, and so now I'm watching a lot of, what's his fucking name? I think it's Danny Motta.
Oh yes, that guy.
Yeah, and now I finished his Epic playlist in a day, and so now this morning I started watching his Owl House reactions because I was like, okay, he seems to really be into the Owl House. I want to know how that started. Yeah,
good times. Good times. I'm a big reaction video watcher, so I understand, my dude. The catharsis.
I've never been one to watch those kinds of things. You know, I'm the person who watches what do I fucking watch? I usually like to watch skits and stuff, like fandom related skits.
Yeah,
on YouTube. I tried to do that kind of stuff on YouTube as well.
Cute.
Yeah. My mom said that her favorite video of mine that I ever did was when I did Harry Potter characters as YouTubers.
Oh my gosh.
I fully cosplayed the whole thing. I scripted it and everything. This is what I liked my face being shown on camera. I no longer do. That's why I podcast.
Valid.
But yeah, reactions. He likes Hootie. I adore how much this man loves Hootie.
It's refreshing because you don't always get a Hootie lover.
I also love Hootie. I don't know if he's realized that Hootie is Alex Hirsch. I feel like he hasn't realized that both Hootie and King are Alex Hirsch. Even though he talks about Alex Hirsch so much in his videos. Yeah. Also, who doesn't thirst for Ida?
For real. My god.
Gilf.
Yeah.
The eyes Ray just gave me. I know that's their type.
hot older women, Okay.
I know that's your type.
so I thought of something. There
Okay,
is a YouTube creator and mostly animator named Joel G, who makes these videos about Enna, and they are these weird ass surrealist videos, and I don't know how to describe them, but they're very cool and very interesting, and this person recently put out a whole video game for free, and it's called Enna Dream Barbecue, and it is super interesting. I haven't gone through a lot of it, but it the animations and stuff in it, very, very charming. I'm not always into surrealism, but when it is this well executed with such good animation and acting and stuff, just check out a little bit of it. You'll know if it's your type of thing.
Very cool. I love that we both plugged YouTube. It's we have a theme. We should start doing themes.
That would be pretty funny of us. Okay, well, yeah, that was not a good plug for me because I don't know what to say about Enna. But why don't you just release us from this mortal coil?
I want to describe it as there's a specific painter's art style that it evokes.
Specifically the character design, yeah.
I can't remember what the painter's name is, but it's it's the weird impressionist style of the half face looks like this, the half face looks like that.
Yeah.
And it's disjointed kind of thing, but it works very well. So it's a very good style. Very cool. Yeah.
Bro, the mortal coil. We're leaving.
The mortal coil? Oh shit. I guess get the fuck out of my house. Bro, I'm gonna dissipate out of your body and leave you as a crumpled husk.
Oh,
because
fuck.
I am set. Actually, plot twist.
Oh shit! I'm so shocked by this shocking revelation.
Haha! How the tables have tabled! I am here. I am queer, and I'm about to wreck your fucking world, man.
Goodbye, North America.
Goodbye, North America. Apparently, that's how we're ending today.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Ray, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel, Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
I'm Christina Kahn. And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading,
the podcast about shiterature.
We're here to examine the terrible writing we did when we were younger.
Like that school project you were really proud of.
Or that poem you wrote when you got dumped.
Well, how about that apology letter you wrote to your mom when you got into that fight?
Or the song you recorded before you knew how to write music.
Okay, don't at me. And we're here to talk about other cringy literary topics along the way.
Like the Library of Alexandria.
And Dewey Decimal.
His name was Melville Dewey.
Oh, well, do we want to get the clips rolling?
I don't think I ever recovered from this in terms of being cool.
Why did I say any of this?
I do like the drama.
So there is actually quite a bit to unpack here.
Oh, all this drama was so addictive as a teenager.
There's no punctuation to it. I'll start with that.
I actually have no memory of this.
There were so many lies that I was telling.
It's not terrible.
No one really taught me how to write a good short story.
That was a journey.
Listen to Burn Before Reading
every Wednesday, wherever pods are cast.
I have epic songs stuck in my head. This is a problem.
I love that this is just your thing now.
Listen. I was like, ooh, I want to listen to a couple of the songs that I like. But the thing is, a couple of the songs that I like are like the first two songs. And so that just kind of starts me listening to the whole thing again.
Oh, good.
And that's a problem.
That's hilarious.
Dave X Media.